Shalom, real quick, giving all praise to YAHAWASHI, QADASH. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, Vocab Malone watches all of our videos. Proof. And speaks about the MOTB. And he knows who teaches the MOTB, being a C-hip. He knows that we here at GMS teaches the C-hip. And he also mentions Sakari. He mentions my name and Sakari's name. And he doesn't mention IUIC or ISUPK. So he knows every little thing that we speak on. He knows. You know, he knows the differences that we make in different breakdowns, because he mentions my name and Sakari's name. So anyway, I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to right about here, but I'm gonna let it go and see where I could stop it. This is not going to be long, so listen up. And you know why Sarnetta asked this question? Because he heard it from the men of GMS, starting with myself on down, and the men of Sakari. Because now I don't know what Sakari's take on it is. I don't know if they said they listened to us when they came in, the Alazar, priest Alazar came in and listened to it and it made sense, or he just sees it himself and it doesn't matter to me, you know. Doesn't matter whether he got it because he heard us get it or he just figured it out for himself. You got to ask him. But he does mention, like I said, he does mention myself by name, and he mentions Sakari. I said that 2 times, so I'm a broken record here. So just listen up, listen up, listen up.
Out, you know I got to bring this question.
Oh, and by the way, the reason why Sarnetta knows to ask this question, because he watched videos of myself and other men in GMS break this down that way, that it's an actual physical C-hip, and I'm positive he came across videos that Sakari put up dealing with the same subject.
I'm going to see how much you do study. I got 2 more questions for you. I really got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but I'm going to ask you 2 of the 5. Talk to us about the mark of the beast according to the book of Revelation. What is it?
No,
is it physical or is it spiritual?
Now, mind you, when it comes to prophetic scriptures, Vocab Malone is completely lost. He doesn't understand this. He doesn't understand none of the chapters of Revelation. Doesn't understand Daniel 7. Doesn't understand Daniel 2, Daniel 9, Daniel 8, Daniel 11, Daniel 12. He doesn't understand Isaiah, the prophecies of Isaiah, Jeremiah, and the rest of the prophets. When I say prophecies, I'm talking about prophecies that took place in their time or had already taken place, and also prophecies that will take place in our time. He doesn't understand them at all. So he's not an expert. This is the wrong guy to go to, Sarnetta. But he's getting some sort of verification from this guy.
There's really no way to do that this fast.
Oh man.
Okay. I got some. Here's okay. That's we can do a little something here, right?
Right.
The main place people would point to there would be like Revelation 13.
Okay.
That's a key place, and since I do got to go, I don't have time to do the whole breakdown. But here's the simple version of the mark of the beast. The mark of the beast is not anything physical. in any meaningful way. And there's a couple reasons why I say that. And one key reason has to do with the parallel. Just like there's a mark that is said to be given upon those who are in alignment with the beast, there's also a mark said to be given those who are saved by grace.
And he has no idea who the beast is. He'll say it's the Antichrist, like any Christian would say.
Grace, meaning the Christians are described as having a mark as well. Now, when I bring this up to people who believe that the mark of the beast is literal, they think it's not a good parallel. But the fact is, both these marks are described in Revelation. But the mark that Christians have is not literal. It's simply a way to say that it is clear who they are assigned with, what side they're on, basically. So the mark of the beast is essentially saying that these are the people who align with the satanic system. Now, I do believe in the end times that will result on a practical level in Christians being shut out of the economic system, but not because the mark of the beast is a microchip like TAHAR of GMS or the Sakari guys teach. Not because of that. And in fact, we're expected to believe that. We are expected to believe. John is writing this book, and he is telling people a computer chip that's going to be implanted in their skin in the 21st century, and they're supposed to make sense of this book. They would need to understand what that meant. And I do not believe in such an acontextual reading that would be completely irrelevant to the people reading the book. It's actually
it's for us now. I keep telling you, all the prophetic books in the scriptures we're talking about the end time prophecies, our time, our lifetime. Every last one of these prophets that received these end time prophecies had no clue as to what they meant. So he's right in a way. The church, the book of Revelation, the revelation of our Lord was set up, and the visions were given to John to give to who or whom? The 7 churches at Asia Minor. Read Revelation chapter 1 and it tells you who this book is for. I'm giving you these revelations to give to the 7 churches of Asia Minor. The 2nd and the 3rd chapter, he curses the 7 churches out, meaning you're doing this good, you're doing that right, but you go off on this. Because the Most High will accept nothing less than perfection. Alright? When the 7 churches of Asia Minor received it, they didn't know what was going on. What's this all about? What's this beast all about? What is this all about? They didn't understand it because it wasn't given. It wasn't for them to understand. It's for us today to understand. Romans 15 and 5, if not 4, for our learning that we through comfort of the scriptures might have hope. I'm merely paraphrasing. Now let me go back and let me let you hear it again. He said, why would the Lord give John the prophet or any of the prophets this information? They have no clue what's going on because it's not for them at that time. Let's come back.
And he is telling people about a computer chip that's going to be implanted in their skin in the 21st century, and they're supposed to make sense of this book.
They're not supposed to make sense of it. It wasn't for them. They were to hold the book for us. And the 7 churches of Asia Minor, the people of the 7 churches of Asia Minor are among us. I don't know who they are. I can't say, well, you, brother, are part the church of Smyrna. I can't say that, but the 7 churches of Asia Minor are among us.
They would have no way to understand what that meant. And I do not believe in such an acontextual reading that would be completely irrelevant to the people reading the book, that it's actually a computer chip. And so, or some kind of physical thing like that. So
you don't want to go deep in it. Last question.
Essentially, it's a symbolic symbol. It has meaning, but it's not a chip or some physical mark.
Okay, last question. You know I can't let you get away without bringing up, and you can get it. Deuteronomy 21:10-14. Does God allow kidnapping women who are held captive?
Kidnapping women who are held captive. When you go out to war against your enemies, the Lord your God gives them into your hand, and you take them captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and you desire to take her to be your wife, and you bring her home to your house. She shall shave her head and pare her nails, and she shall take off the clothes in which she was captured, and shall remain in your house, and lament her father and her mother a full month. After that you may go into her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. But if you no longer do,
whether she likes it or not, whether she accepts it or not,
lighten her,
another word, grape,
you shall let her go where she wants, but you shall not sell her for money, nor shall you treat her as a slave, since you have humiliated her.
Oh, since you have the what?
Humiliated her. Yeah, that's what it says.
No, since you have helped her out, it says, right?
No, it says humiliated. This is a captive. This is a. I know what it says. That's what it says. That's what it says. So
you sure it don't say since you have loved her?
No, it just says humiliated. That's what it says.
Wow.
So this is a law.
What do you think that means?
This is a law for
humiliated her.
Yeah, this is a law for conquests of cities far away. Because if it was women nearby, I'm going to go ahead and make it worse for you. They actually should have been destroyed if they were close. So this is far away cities.
Right. Now I understand that these are enemies, right? That these are enemies to who? The Israelites?
Yes, these are enemies to the Israelites.
What people are they? Who are the people that's being fighting right now in this scripture, Deuteronomy? Who were they? Who were these people?
Well, I mean, this is for any conquest that is for.
Correct. Now, they're talking about other nations. If you happen to go to war with another nation, you can save a woman or a girl that you see, even a little girl. If you read the book of Numbers, chapter 31, Moses, the king of Israel at that time, he was the first king of Israel, by the way, for you Christians out there. Who's the king that went, that were taken into captivity? Deuteronomy 28:36, it was Moses. Well, Moses is not a king. Yes, he is. Moses was the first king of Israel. He just wasn't coronated. He was the first king, and he came back as David to be king. But anyway, perfect example of Deuteronomy 21 and what do you say? 21 and 10 is Numbers 31. Read the whole chapter. Moses tells the men of Israel, the men of war, to kill off all the men and take the women, but do not take women that were married. It says kill the men, kill the women that were married, kill the male children. That was a slaughter right there. You had infants that were males, you slaughtered them. And you were instructed by Moses, the man of the Most High, to take the girls only, meaning the prepubescent girls, as opposed to women, and take them to yourselves. What do you think he meant by that? They were going to rape them. They weren't going to rape them if they were 7 years old, 8 years old, or 6 years old. They're going to take care of them. It might take 2-3 years before they reach puberty. 12 years old, 11 and a half, 12 years old, 13. Then you can go in unto them. And that's called the spoils of war. The spoils, any war that you go into, when an army takes that country down, they see beautiful women, they're going to take the women and do what they want. But you're supposed to take them home with you and raise them up and have children with them.
Faraway cities, it doesn't designate who, but of course they would be Gentiles.
Okay.
Good. You got a clock is correct 2 times a day. I'm gonna call you the clock.
Israelites.
Okay. So now, is it all right for the Israelites to marry Gentiles?
You talking about in 2023?
No, in 21.
You're saying back then?
14, yes, back then.
Yeah.
Marriage just means to merge. Wife just means woman. The word wife in the Hebrew is ayashah, which means woman. But to ceremonially marry a woman, that's only an Israelite man can only marry an Israelite woman. Women of the other nations you can only take as concubine. That never changed. King Solomon went off by marrying them women. When you read the account of Solomon, you understand why. Because he was marrying those women for trade deals with their fathers. That's why he married the king of Egypt's daughter and the king of Edom's daughter, if I'm not mistaken. But he had concubines. King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella married for convenience to bring the two lands together. And that's what they did in the ancient world.
Yeah, they could.
I remember coming across the scripture where God says you should not intermarry with these heathens, or marry amongst your own kind and your own.
Yeah, don't marry them. But have them as a concubine, a woman lower than a wife.
Own people.
Well, it's true. You can't. It's true that you're not supposed to marry heathens because it'll lead you into idolatry. But this is essentially.
That's why he said the married woman don't deal with them, kill them, because they'll lead you into their way. You'll fall in love with them. The girls, they were girls. They didn't know nothing about them. 8, 7 years old or whatever. They didn't know nothing about leading you into their God. You don't understand the concept of God until you're about 12 years old.
Actually, a woman who has essentially lost control of her fate because her people are destroyed. She is a captive, and now the shaving and the nails, that represents a total departure from her previous way of life.
So what if she don't want to shave or pare her nails or don't want?
She had no look. When you go into the system, if any of y'all ever been in the system, the Tombs, Rikers, I'm talking about in New York. When they put you in the system, do you know they make you put down your pants and bend over and spread your ass cheeks? They don't touch nothing. They look up. They look with a fucking thing. What you gonna say? No. When you're in the system, you are a prisoner.
Want to allow him to come into her? Do she have any rights in that matter, or all her rights have been taken from her?
In this passage, when we're talking about captive,
no, she did have some rights. She had the right. She had the right to remain silent. Anyway, just joking. Of course, obviously, she had the right to mourn her parents for a month. She also had the right, if the man wasn't satisfied with her, he couldn't just sell her off. He was to let her go free. So she did have certain rights.
of war, I don't see that. She's essentially a prisoner of war.
Thank you, brother.
So she would either be dead or your wife, basically, in this passage.
But there's rights within that too. Go back and read it again. There's rights within that. We didn't just see. We couldn't just rape them on the battlefield and leave them there, because guess what? You'll leave a seed up in there, and that woman will have Israelite seeds with no father, not knowing that that child is an Israelite. So you took that woman, and if you got the woman pregnant, of course you're gonna keep that woman to bring up your sons and your daughters. So she did have certain rights.
What can I say? You going in right now, man.
Well, that is what the passage says. So I mean, if we had time to talk about it further, I would talk about the fact that Israel was a political nation. Israel had real political enemies. the fact that God did not make a world in which war was in the original creation. The original creation was perfect harmony in the Garden of Eden.
Right.
So all this discussion is
Another good point. Because the Garden of Eden is going to come back as a kingdom. There's not going to be any war. They shall not learn war anymore. So what is Bishop Nate talking about? Gog and Magog going to get together with all the nations. They're going to jump Israel, or attempt to jump Israel. See, that's as King Marshall would say, that's foolishness. That's foolishness.
is a product of sin, but God regulates the real world. So the Bible doesn't. This is real stuff.
And this is other vocab, because you don't try the word of God, you let it speak for itself, and you elaborate on what it's saying.
And we do the same goddamn thing, Sarnetta. You didn't accept us with the grape thing, and then you know when you accepted it? When the Chadash showed you it, if she said, I don't see it, you still wouldn't have seen it, man. This is why we don't want to, we don't want to have nothing to do with you, man. You speak with forked tongue.
And we respect you, and brother, with that.
But he don't respect us. Made a big deal with this nigger, which he's a persona non grata, named Brother Polite.
I'm going to allow you to close out, let the people know where they can find your latest works as well.
Sure, yeah. Until they kick me off, I'm at youtube.com/Vocab Malone.
Why in the hell they gonna kick you off? You ain't saying nothing controversial. Controversy. Inside joke.
And I do a lot of stuff with Israelism, but not only, you know, I have great interest in issues related to Mormonism and general theological issues as well. It's just that I think that a great need is with Israelism, so that's why it's a focus of mine. And, you know, since I've been around a while, some of these guys that used to hate me, I think they still hate me, but I've noticed some of the ones who used to hate me are now willing to talk to me. So I have been having some good, decent relationships more and more with some Hebrew Israelites. Not all. There's still some who say, I can't wait to read about the death of Vocab. But it's been beautiful to see some relationships come into existence. Now, I'm not under the impression we're best friends all of a sudden, but it's good. And I think mainly because they see I'm not perfect. I say stuff, I do stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm not going anywhere and I don't hate them.
We got Bennett giving you a shout out.
Shout out to Pastor Bennett.
My brother, Pastor Bennett. Good to hear from my brother. And I
number one debater on the platform.
Yes, I can't wait to bring Pastor Bennett in the Cam Up podcast so that we can do the same thing. A nice, respectable interview. No debate, just an interview.
Now, I will say this.
Bring that information. Yes, go ahead.
At youtube.com/Vocab Malone. After I get off, this is where I got to go. I'm going to be talking to a brother of mine from St. Louis,
yes,
who was in Kemet.
Uh-oh.
And now the brother is a disciple of Christ. No longer.
Man, how did he do that?
That's what we're going to talk about tonight. So it's called from.
And that's going to be on your channel in a few minutes, right or wrong?
Like 30 minutes. From Kemet to Christ.
Check that out. I got it.
Yeah, because Kemet has no legs to stand on. Neither does Christianity. So he went from the frying pan to the fire.
Check that out, man. Hey, in Vocab, is he coming back to the U.S.?
No. Sorry. When I say in Kemet, I don't mean he lived in Egypt. He lived in St. Louis.
Okay, this is what I want to ask you, brother. Can you at least get the brother and me and him in touch with each other? I would love to do an interview with him.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, Vocab. Peace and blessings to you and the family, brother.
God bless. Peace.
Peace.
So you heard it. I ain't got nothing to say. On to the next one, as usual. Shalom.